Ever get that weird feeling? Like a thought just pops into your head and you think, hang on, is that really me thinking that?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's it feels almost like something out of sci-fi sometimes, doesn't it?
Totally. But it's maybe more real than we think. So today we're going to, well, dive deep into mind control, the history, the reality now. We've got some fascinating material to unpack.
Sounds good. Because the idea of influencing people shaping thoughts, it's definitely not new.
Right, not just sci-fi or recent history.
Not at all. If you look back, I mean, way back, you see elements of this in, say, ancient religious cults or how empires maintained control, even early educators.
How so? What kind of methods?
Well, think about repetitive messaging, using fear, elaborate rituals. These are all ways to shape beliefs and, behavior on a large scale.
Okay, so fast forward a bit, mid 20th century, things got a bit more clinical. I'm thinking of the CIA's MK Ultra program.
Ah, yes, MK Ultra, that's a big one, running mainly in the 50s and 60s.
And their goal was what? Actual mind control?
Pretty much. They were exploring ways to manipulate people's mental states and brain functions, using things like drugs, LSD famously, but also hypnosis, sensory deprivation, psychological torture.
Wow. And didn't they try this on like regular people?
They did. That's the really disturbing part. A lot of the documentation was destroyed, apparently. But what survived shows experiments on unwitting citizens, soldiers, students, even hospital patients,
Without consent.
without consent. And in some cases, it seems to have caused really severe, permanent psychological damage. It was, well, an extreme exploration of control.
Okay, so that's the past. But where does that leave us today? It feels less cloak and dagger, maybe.
In a way, it's shifted massively. The main arena now is digital. It's online.
You mean social media?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about your feeds, the content you see. It's not random
Oh,
at all.
it's the algorithms, right?
Precisely. Algorithms designed specifically to capture and hold your attention, predict what you'll do next, and yes, absolutely influence what you believe.
So the posts, the ads, the videos it suggests, it's all part of this system.
It is a system that gets incredibly good at understanding you, maybe better than you understand yourself sometimes. And then there's neuromarketing.
Neuromarketing. Explain that.
Well, companies are actually studying how our brains react to stimuli, ads, packaging, messages that use brain imaging, things like that.
To do what? Sell more effectively?
That's part of it, yeah. To maximize persuasion. It influences what we buy, sure, but potentially also how we vote, our personal choices.
Hmm.
It taps into subconscious triggers.
So what's the underlying science here? How does this influence actually work on our brains?
It often leverages basic psychological principles, things we've known about for a while but are now, supercharged by technology.
Like what specifically?
Okay, so repetition is a big one. Hear something often enough, even if it's not true, and it starts to feel familiar, maybe even true. That's the illusory truth effect.
Right, I've heard of that.
And then there's fear. Stimulating fear can bypass rational thought pretty effectively. And emotional storytelling, our brains are just wired for narrative. Stories create connection, trigger emotions, and often slip past our critical filters.
And what about things like cognitive biases? Don't they play a role?
Oh, absolutely. Huge role. Take confirmation bias, for instance. We all have a natural tendency to seek out and favor information that, well, confirms what we already believe.
And ignore stuff that doesn't fit.
Pretty much. And algorithms often feed right into that. They create these online echo chambers.
Echo chambers. Like
Oh.
you only hear voices that agree with you.
Exactly. You get shown content that reinforces your existing worldview, making it harder to encounter different perspectives. So your reality gets kind of curated, but maybe not by you.
Okay, this is starting to sound a little bleak. Is there anything we can actually do about this? Are we just puppets?
No, definitely not. There's hope. The absolute key is awareness. Just understanding that these manipulation tactics exist, recognizing how they work, that's the first most powerful step.
So knowing is half the battle.
Kind of, yeah. It allows you to start questioning things more critically, questioning information, questioning your own reactions, your own beliefs sometimes.
What are some like practical actions people can take?
Well, diversifying your information sources is crucial. Actively seek out perspectives that challenge you. Don't just stay in your comfort zone.
Makes sense. What else?
You could look into privacy-protecting apps or browsers,
Mm.
maybe consciously limit time spent on platforms, are heavily driven by these kinds of algorithms.
Like take a break from the feed.
Exactly. And practices like mindfulness or meditation can actually help too. They train you to become more aware of your own thoughts, where they're coming from, and maybe spot when they feel influenced.
So it really comes back to being conscious and critical.
It does. The real illusion, perhaps, is believing that mind control is only science fiction or that it doesn't exist today.
It's just taken a different, maybe more subtle form.
A much more pervasive form, arguably. But being aware, being critical, staying curious, that's how you maintain your freedom of thought.
Okay, so final thought to leave everyone with. Maybe just ask yourself,
Yeah.
whose interests are really being served by the information you consume and the beliefs you hold right now?